Hello Internet, Mike Byrne, aka Magic Man here again from MMOBomb.com, and I want to thank you so much for checking out yesterday's MMO Thoughts episode on Final Fantasy XIV, and whether you consider it free to play, continue to chime in on that discussion, and if you missed it, it's right below in our videos here. However, today I want to talk a little bit about another game near and dear to my heart, and that's Phantasy Star Online 2. I'm a huge Phantasy Star nut, have been since the Dreamcast days on dial-up. You can read more about that on MMOBomb.com if you want to know about my personal affinity for the series. And right now, in North America, we have the game released finally, 8 years later, on the Xbox One and on PC via the Microsoft Store. Yesterday, however, on the Xbox game stream, we got information, a trailer basically, and a teaser page on something called Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis. So today I want to talk about what the hell is New Genesis, because I didn't know, and I'm a PSO2 nut. I love this thing and I had no clue what it was. After watching the trailer, a lot of us thought, well, is this an update for PSO2? Is it getting a graphics overhaul because the game could sorely use one? It's 8 years old. Is this a new game? Is this an expansion to the game? Is this a mobile app companion thing? What is this? We saw a UI that looked very similar to the current PSO2 UI in the video, but we saw more open world content. So what's going on here? Well, today I'm going to give you more clarification on those issues, but also pose a question to you, particularly you PSO2 fans. First off, right now, in the North American release, we only have the game PSO2 available on Xbox One and PC via the Xbox Store. We also only have 3 episodes of story content. For those of you that don't play, story in PSO2 is dropped via episodes. Right now, we have 3, Japan has 6. In August, however, we'll be getting episode 4, so we'll be moving along. Hopefully, that same trailer teased a different PC platform as well, maybe a Steam, something, anything besides the Microsoft Store, please. And the plan is to update the North American release throughout the year to catch up by the end of 2020, very early 2021, to the Japanese version, and we'll have all 6 episodes. Okay, so what is PSO2 New Genesis, or PSO2 NGS? Because that's not ridiculous or anything. Well, it, fortunately or unfortunately, and that's part of where we're going to ask your viewpoint on this, will be the replacement for the next update for PSO2. So instead of an update for PSO2, we'll be getting New Genesis. Basically, breaking it down, it is an entirely new client. They're describing it taking place about 1,000 years after the Oracle battle, after the events of Episode 6, in an open-world RPG online platform. Now, the game does look much prettier. There's a graphics overhaul here, particularly for character creation, which does give us much more detailed models, many more customization options, more units to put on our characters, and more placement options, color options, muting options for the color, and all kinds of other character creation customization tools. A very robust character creator. The game also takes place in an open world, so we'll have movement abilities like various sprints and dives and things like that. No information in the trailer on mounts or anything like that, but faster ways to traverse over the world. Now, this is a huge difference for those of you that are familiar with PSO2, which is instance-based. You're on a ship, you beam down to a particular place on the planet, do your mission, beam back to through the telepipes back to the gateway ship, and pick the next mission that you want to do and go. So open world, definitely something I'm interested in. Here's the deal, though. The character creation engine in the existing PSO2 is also going to receive a little bit of an overhaul here, the character creation tool. Why? Because you're able to use one character in both games. Now, this is where the language gets a little weird. While the trailer would have you to believe that you're making progression on one character, you're really not. You're creating a copy, from what I can gather from all the information, you're creating a copy. So if I roll a character in PSO2's new character creation system, or I have an existing character, I can copy that character into New Genesis, and vice versa. If I create a character in New Genesis, I can push that character into the original PSO2 as well. That aside, though, in New Genesis, there are a lot of things that aren't going to transcribe over from PSO2 progress. And this includes things like skill rings, consumable items used for battle, your boost items that you have, materials, furnishing, meseta, fun currency, other currencies. Since they impact economy, they can't be shared between the two games. You can share your cash shop currency, whether that be ARC coins, the actual cash shop currency, or star gems, a currency that kind of borders between being in-game and obtainable using ARC coins from the cash shop. Those two currencies are account specific, and you could use across the two games, no problem. But all the other stuff doesn't go. And in the New Genesis game, nothing about your character migrates except for the look. The level? Nope. Experience, class points, photon arts, techniques, none of this goes from PSO2 to New Genesis. So it is a brand new game when you look at it that way. You will be rolling a new character. Yes, you'll be able to bring your cash shop currency, all of your emotes, all of your cosmetic options, which are a huge part of PSO2, over into New Genesis, and that's great. Doesn't screw over people like when the people went from Destiny to Destiny 2 and lost a lot of their cosmetic items. You'll still be able to use those, but as far as the systems, it is an entirely new game. Even weapons, units, things like that, while the fundamental designs won't change between the two games, stats, augments, and potentials definitely do change between the two games. And some higher rarity items and units won't be available or equipable until your character reaches a certain level. So you may have a unit, but you can't equip it yet because your character in New Genesis has not been leveled up. Or some things may not be available because New Genesis doesn't have those classes available in the game yet. Mags, interestingly enough, while they will go as far as evolution device data, they don't impact your stats or assist you in battle in New Genesis. So there are quite a few changes in this, and it's going to exist side by side. PSO2 and New Genesis will both exist. Both will have their system requirements upped after these changes because, again, PSO2 is getting like the character creation modification and some improvements on that side. So the system specs will go up on both games. What does this mean as a player? Well, it means now you have essentially two games. And yes, you can have the same looking character in the two games, but your progression between one and the other, they're not the same. One's an open world game, one's a instance-based game, episodic story content, as you're used to seeing in PSO2 today. And while, hey, if I pick up a cosmetic in PSO2, I will also have it available to use in New Genesis, that's great. From a gameplay perspective, we're dealing with two different games. And remember, this is in place of an update, presumably like an episode 7. And we have no release date for this besides 2021 on Xbox, Xbox One, Series X, and or Xbox Series X and PC. They do have the qualification that, hey, in the interim, if we release on other platforms or other PC platforms, this will release on those too, but they don't say anything. Again, we do know that it's already been teased as coming to other PC platforms, but we don't know about a Western PS4 release or a Switch release or anything like that yet. Side note on that, though, there was a trailer similar to the one introduced at the Xbox Game Show yesterday that was released on the PSO2 CH channel that indicated all the platforms would be getting New Genesis, including PlayStation 4 and Switch and things like that. And that kind of makes sense to me why like the global Xbox trailer would have been specific, and this one made for a more Eastern audience, particularly Japan, China, that type of thing, would have indicated all those platforms because the game is available on those platforms in the East. Presumably at some point they will also be in the West. So how do you feel about this? This is where I'm kind of torn a little bit as a PSO2 fan, somebody that plays. Now it already has enough of a fear of missing out. Now I've got two games that I gotta like occasionally log into when I really would rather log into something else, but I gotta get something done real quick on a daily or a weekly. Now you've got two games to do that in the Phantasy Star universe. Hey, I'm not bitching about having more Phantasy Star Online content, whether it's a new game or an update, but I do have to question, what does this mean for PSO2? Are we eventually going to see additional episodes in PSO2? Or is all of the future content going to be pushed into New Genesis? We've seen this with other games where they have an older standing game and then a new version of that game, like Defiance from previously Try-On Worlds, now Gamigo, where there's a newer version and the new content gets dumped in there. We've seen it with Secret World Legends from Funcom, where the Secret World stops getting updates, and any updates that are going to come are going to be done in the new Secret World Legends. I mean, no updates came in that case, but besides events, but you see the concern that this puts out there for me. So I don't know. I feel like it's a good news, bad news, or a good news, concerned news on my side. I certainly love having open world. I certainly love having an updated graphics engine. I certainly love more PSO2 content in general. That's great, whether it's in New Genesis or in PSO2. But what does this mean for the future of PSO2 itself? Will there be new episodes after this? This seems to be taking the place of the updates we would have expected in 2021, presumably like an episode 7 or an episode 8 even. But what does 2022 hold? 2023 hold? I don't know. How do you feel about it? Let me know your thoughts in the below. And it's still a little dicey on what the certain things mean, and they will continue to keep the posts updated. So I'll put all the links to the current articles, which have every link you need and every trailer you need, including the ones I've been showing here, right in them. So you can hop over to MMO Bomb and check out any of the pieces of information. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Is this a good thing, a bad thing, a good thing, and an unsure thing, and I don't know, and oh my god, what the hell are they doing? Let me know how you feel in the comments below, and I'll see you on the next MMO Thoughts. Stay safe, and I'll see you on the servers.